What is up, my fellow Chibits? Today I'm here to bring all of you my weekly anime review of Young Blackjack. We get a different type of perspective with this episode, and this time we are focusing on PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. We get to see what happens when soldiers have been in a war for way too long. And we get to see how maybe some of the conflict in maybe wars and down the road of history, how some things might have happened. For instance, how innocent civilians might have been killed. Because when someone goes through the tragedy of losing a close friend and not willing to accept that their friend is gone, sometimes they might do things that they normally would have never have done, which we get to see happen in this episode. So honestly, I know that the U.S. soldier, he did something really wrong, calling in that airstrike to wipe out the entire village, which endangered probably hundreds, and I know it was an evil act. But then we have to factor in that this dude, he's been traumatized. He really isn't himself right now. He's like one of those veterans that has been wounded in the mind, the heart, and he's not really all himself like he used to be, so he needs, treatment for his PTSD. And that's kind of what is going on here. We get to see how PTSD can really destroy someone's life or their mindset from how it used to be into turning them into like something that makes them look like a monster later on. So I mean, this was a really refreshing episode of Young Blackjack to see something very different from previous episodes, but also how Hosma and them and their stance on the entire situation as doctors and how far they will go to be a doctor. So we get to see the moral gray line in this episode. You know, to where the doctors, they're all discussing to the American soldier, like, no, we will help friend or foe. We are doctors, we don't choose sides, we don't choose our friends or foes, we help everybody. And when you had it to where one of these people that were hurt, that was actually on the enemy side, you had to where Hosma and them, they were wanting to work on him to make sure he was fine, even though we know this dude was actually a good guy because he was the one that saved Hosma and them and helped them escape. It's still, the point is he was an enemy soldier. So normally, under normal circumstances, you would look at this dude like, why would you want to save an enemy soldier that might grab a gun and then start shooting everybody and killing everybody because, they're the enemy? And Hosma and them, they're not thinking about that. Like, they don't care. What they're caring about is that they have a patient, they need to work on that patient, and they need to make sure that patient is going to be able to live. So, I mean, very honorable and great way to demonstrate the doctor's, I guess, motivation to work on anybody, no matter who it is. So, it shows you that they won't discriminate against, enemy or friend. They will work on anyone, no matter who it is, as long as if they do need medical treatment. And I love the emphasis on how, if they would have turned away the soldier and not helped out that soldier, it might have been the exact same thing of what could have happened to them. Because if you think about it, if Yabu didn't help out that village or help out anyone else, maybe those villagers wouldn't have allowed him in or other people in to fix them, and then, Yabu wouldn't have helped them out. It's like a circle of, karma. For instance, if you do good deeds, you have it to where the other people are willing to do good deeds for you. And so these doctors, Hosma and them working on these patients, shows their goodwill, their good faith to help other people besides their own people. For instance, like Americans, they're willing to help everybody else out as well, and it shows that they're willing to care for everyone. And so you have it to where the villagers are like, hey, maybe we can bring in other people like other Americans. We don't just need to worry about our people, we can worry about other people as well. So I love how that was demonstrated with this episode. So once again, another great way for Hosma to demonstrate his skills, but also for him to improve as a doctor, or for us to see how he is improving as a doctor. And once again, I have to point out that this is one thing that I think really needs to happen when it comes to Young Blackjack. Hosma has developed quite well. He has some really good development so far, but I still do want to see him fail. I have been told in the later stages of Blackjack, the main series, he does fail, but I do hope we get to see some form of failure that's going to be everlasting with his character till the end of the series, because, I mean, he's constantly performing these miracle surgeries every episode, and especially with the surgery in this episode, that was crazy. I mean, he had like 30 minutes to do this surgery on this dude. You had it to where an airstrike was coming in, about to bombard the village and turn it into a sea of flames, and I mean, when time is ticking like that, you know the pressure's gonna be on, because, I mean, your life is in danger, everybody's life is in danger, the patient's life is in danger, I mean, everybody's in danger, and so when you have that going on, the pressure's like, on top of your shoulders, and you need to wonder, like, okay, so can we fix this patient in time? Are we gonna die with this patient? I mean, there's many questions that would probably go through a doctor's head, so I do hope that Hosma in the near future does experience some form of failure. I mean, I hope it's a big failure where it will drive his character to improve, because that's the type of, I guess, motivation Hosma needs right now, because right now he's shown that he's an excellent doctor, but he needs to have more character development when it comes to him failing, before he can progress on past that path to become even better. So, one thing I want to point out that was rather sad with this episode was at the end, we get like this monologue letting us know that the doctor that we were with for these past 2 episodes, that was an American doctor helping out Hosma, or, you know, Hosma is helping him out. We come to find out at the end of the episode that Hosma is never going to cross paths with this doctor again. Like, their paths will never unite ever again. And I don't know really how to take that, because when it says their paths will never, you know, unite once again, does that mean that, like, they're going to go down different paths as a doctor? Or does that mean that they're just never going to unite as friends or anyone ever again? Like, they're never going to see each other, one of them's going to die before the other? I'm just very curious about that dialogue that was given to us at the end of this episode, but that's saved for another day. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. How do you feel about this week's episode of Young Black Jack? Did you hate it? Did you love it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Please be safe. Chibi out.